Welcome, everyone. This is our Animist Gathering, and today is the 11th of July, and 2020, the year of clear vision. So many things are becoming abundantly clear for all to see, and a lot of those things are not incredibly beautiful or lovely, and yet it's best to see them clearly. So, as animists, as earth honoring people, we come to everything really, understanding that all is connected. One thing I've been noticing in myself is feeling areas of separation and then reminding myself, no, everything's connected. And so finding a way back to some sense of connection. So, hopefully, maybe through this process of our gathering today, there are people here in Zoom, and there's a few of us who will present or share something, and each segment is something from our own personal animist path as it is evolving in the moment. And then there's whoever's watching this live as well as showing up or watching later. So hopefully through the weaving of the different segments that we've put together, and none of us know what the other is going to share. So it's a surprise to us as well when everyone shares what they felt guided to share. Um, that somehow there's more connection, that you can use what we bring forth as opportunities to make connections and that then we can work with. It doesn't mean that they're resolved or that they're fixed or that they're perfectly um, finished, but maybe it's something is started. And I'll also say that there's no guarantee that anyone will particularly like or resonate or agree with each other's offerings, but they're all different versions of we are all connected. And so, um, thank you for showing up. And a number of us are here, and we're based in Tucson, Arizona, and the land here is traditionally Tohono O'odham land. And so maybe wherever you are, if you're not in Tucson, you could think or look up if you don't know who the First Nations people are who have always lived where you are living if you are not of that lineage. And so let's see. How about if we start with a rhythm story, is I guess what I'm calling them. I don't think Jacob has come up with a formal name for his offerings per se, but a couple days ago, Jacob recorded a piece that is intriguing and very interesting and also quite big. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how I haven't even heard it completely. And Jacob, is there anything that you would like to say to prequel your piece? It's about 9 minutes, so it's drum and his voice, and it's something that we can listen to and think about. So, Jacob, would you unmute yourself if there's anything that you want to add before I play it?
This is an animist perspective, my perspective as an animist of current events.
Okay, so now I'm going to do that fun share screen thing and share his audio. Here we go. Hold on, tech. See if this works.
Hello, friends. Welcome to my spirit world. We all live on the web of life. We all are connected by the web of life. Today, I would like to explore current events. That is to say, events that are in the current of animist time. We live in a sacred and mystical land. This land, taken from the Tohono O'odham people, is where we live. In Tucson, Arizona. This land known as Arizona has become a hotspot. It has achieved a notoriety. It is in the company of nations. Unfortunately, this is not a good thing. This thing that is not a good thing, but a bad thing, is the incredibly high numbers of infected humans. Infected with COVID-19, a coronavirus. At this moment, Arizona wears the COVID crown for most daily infections in the US and for many countries of the world. Few groups of humans have witnessed such a large exponential daily increase of COVID infection. As an animist, I wonder, who are these viral beings? These viral beings who speak the language of human sickness. Where did they originate? What do they want? First, a little background. Viral beings in general are essential for all of life. Life, as we know it, could not exist without the viral beings. The voice of the virus commands the shape of ocean clouds, which bring rain to the land. The voice of the virus determines the balance of human health in a world of competing bacterial pathogens. The voice of the virus is completely logical in its expression of existence. So why is the coronavirus, COVID-19, declared public enemy number one? The enemy upon which humans must declare war. Most viral beings are ancient. They are so old that they have inserted non-replicating segments of themselves into human DNA. They have given humans abilities that have not been discovered. The viral beings have allowed humans to dream their millions of years of life into existence. They are important parts of the human genetic family. A few viral beings are very young. Smallpox, polio, measles, and the baby of the group, COVID-19. COVID-19 is known as a novel virus. This means the human experience has never encountered it before. This occurs when a virus that lives in one species, such as a bat, infects a human, and then in the most unlikely events, a mutation occurs. This mutation allows the viral being to now infect other humans with no further impact from the bat's genetic code. The viral being has jumped from one genetic code to another. Unfortunately, this is a rare occurrence, and natural conditions prevent this from usually happening. So what unnatural condition caused a viral being to become novel, to take up residence in a new genetic code? More specifically, why us? What have we humans done to deserve this sickness and distress? COVID-19 is a creation and contains the imprint of cruelty. Without cruelty, COVID-19 would never have been called into existence. Destroying the natural homes of animals, subjecting them to filth before being eaten, has a consequence. And that is COVID-19. COVID-19 is a reflection of human cruelty and a consequence of disrespect and destruction of the natural world. So what is to be done? Here in Arizona, a hotspot of infection, a world power of dysfunction and the spread of disease, what might the animist individual consider? Could it be that kindness and gratitude have a transformative power in the reckoning with the stressful mortality? The experiment is in progress. Might kindness and gratitude for small things, such as, thank you, my breath, may I never take you for granted. Thank you, my breath, for demanding that I recognize and actively support the right of all beings to breathe freely. May cruelty be isolated and transformed. May the conditions of cruelty be destroyed. Stop the war. End the war against freedom, against life. May the benevolence of the viral beings be brought forth through acts of kindness. May the example of the viral beings teach all humans to turn away from the path of cruelty and to follow the trail of love. Thank you.
Wow, Jacob. Thank you. Gosh, those are some big thoughts and very important to put all that together. Thank you. Elizabeth, would you like to go next?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is July 11th, 2020. It's my husband's birthday, and he's not one for being talked about, but I want to say that he's a very good man, kind man, a compassionate man, and He didn't have an easy childhood. He ran away from home many times, and he was in juvie many times. He escaped from juvie. During these things that happened, he encountered police. He was beaten up and hurt, but he wasn't killed. And that's because he was white. Today, I read about another Black boy that was killed. And as a teacher, as a human being, as a loving, caring person, I am just overwhelmed with grief because there's day after day of this. So this child's name, Cornelius Fredericks. For throwing bread, he was restrained and killed. So restrained, I don't mean like a gentle thing, obviously. This boy hadn't done anything to be in this facility. His mother had died and his father was unable to care for him. So he was placed there. There's many more, and I did write down some of them. I feel that they are calling out, and I want to send out prayers to them. I'm not able to say every single one. And I may say their names incorrectly. Tyree King, 13 years old, allegedly drawing an air gun, was killed. Tamir Rice also had a replica toy gun in Ohio, was killed. Elijah McClain, picking up iced tea. 17-year-old Ramarley Graham followed into his home and shot in front of his 6-year-old brother. These children deserve a better future. When I was a teacher in Florida, I had a boy named Martin in my class. Martin had been retained 2 times. That means he was 2 years older than the other children in my classroom. I was teaching 2nd grade. He was 10 years old. The other children were 7 and 8 years old. He was a Black boy. He could write and write. When I would ask the children to do writing, he would give me like 10 pages of writing, and he would write very small. And he had ideas, such strong ideas, good ideas in his writing and clear ideas. He didn't have the grammar or punctuation, but he had those ideas. I only lived in Florida for a year. It was very racist. Martin was very tall because he had been held back. He's very vulnerable. one day I got the message within to talk to him. And this is something that I said that probably could have gotten me in trouble. I said to him, "This is a very unfair world, Martin. And this is how it is now. And I urge you to be careful. Be careful." And so my words I have carried forward in prayer for him for years. So this was like 2004. This is a prayer box. And it's covered with this. It's children holding hands all around the world. And in a workshop with Quinn, I made this box. So on it is a flower, a heart with a mirror, an amethyst, an obsidian hand, a little tiara, a little miniature spoon, and puzzle pieces. And inside of it, I put children's names and things to do with children that I want to pray for and to send love. So I have other things in here. I have a kaleidoscope representing seeing things in different ways and being able to see beauty. A child size shaker. Big bird. A rock with a little hole and sage. Bubbles. I have pictures. I have letters that children have given me. This is something that a child wrote that I wanted to share. Sunflowers are small, little seeds. When they are tendered, they grow bigger and taller until they grow into a sunflower. I was a small plant, but when I left, I was bigger and stronger. And I would like to send that out. And I'm focusing on the Black boys today. I feel that they're calling out, and I know many need prayers. But I'm reminded of Martin, and I definitely want to send him prayers. Martin's 25 years old today. And in this little was a Play-Doh container. Martin's name's been in there so that I can send him prayers. And another boy, Anthony Wall, 22 years old. I think of that as a boy, choked in a Waffle House. There's many examples of extreme force having been used. I feel I'm stumped for words because this is so horrifying. And it's just hard to find the words for prayer. So I turn to what I know to send out for these boys, that they are protected, that they are surrounded in all the protection that they need, that when the systemic racism and violence and hatred and just evil is there, that these boys, Martin, others, that they are able to be protected and weave away from it. Kuan Yin loves children. I call on Kuan Yin to protect these boys. I call on soothing water, gathering in this emotion and pain and grief. I also saw a webpage for mothers of these children that have been killed. And I cannot imagine the grief and pain that they carry. And yet, with my grief and pain, I go forward to make a difference, to help stop this. And I pledge to Martin to continue to send prayers and to step up and have courage to call it out, to have courage to be on here today, even though I feel like my words are just, like so little, just they feel little compared to all of it. I feel little, like I am so little, not enough. But I send these words out and these prayers, and I hope all this, my little, connects with you. And as animists, that we connect and move forward for change. And I leave this with all of you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Liliana, are you ready?
Were you calling me?
Are you ready to share what you would like to
Oh,
share?
okay. Yeah. Can everybody hear okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, hello, everybody. Well, I wrote something, and it's, I do this every morning, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, I think many years, because I love to walk. So, and I'm doing more walking now, especially early in the morning. So I wrote this, or those experiences on my walks. So it says, once upon a time, there was a stay-home order due to this monster called coronavirus. Humans stay home, but they were the animists, the ones that could not stay in without going outside and communicate with the Pachamama, the Earth Mother. So they came out early in the morning when the sun was going up and the moon was down to hide her beautiful face till the next night. The animists saw the ants being busy working, very organized, getting ready for winter. All of them in line, carrying food. The animists looked up and they saw the birds flying and a family of 3 birds flying by. And one of them, the middle one, was carrying food in her beak, probably for her babies waiting in her nest. She had the other 2 birds next to her, by her side. It seems like they were guarding her. The animals looked down and saw a family of coyotes running home after a night out. The animals saw the wind coming by watching the treetops moving, and they were so happy to be caressed by the wind as they closed their eyes to feel the kisses of the wind. They looked down at the flowers for a while, and the flowers stared back at them and danced, and their petals looked like beautiful skirts moving while the wind caressed them very carefully. And then the rabbits showed up, and they showed them how to use their eyes and how to use them fast, and how to jump, how to hump from one place to another, using nice humps to a way that they kind of make a figure, like a figure, I don't know how to say in English, como un cuadrado, así, no? It's like a square kind of thing, that the way they jump. So they jump in a very graceful way. The sky was showing the shamanists to stay a little bit and look up. They even saw beings in the clouds, and they just for a time, Amens did not thought or gave any energy to the virus, because they remember who they were, and they were in communication with all the relatives. That's the beauty of being an Animist. We can connect and go to real world and disconnect with that fear that this coronavirus is coming to take over us. So let's remember, there are relatives out there waiting for us to look at them, for us to study them, and just to forget, just for a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. Beautiful. Very nice. Thank you so much. All right, so I have something to share. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to share. And then I remembered a series of audio. Well, now they're in audio form, but they came as written poems, rhyming poems. So I'll give it just a bit of backstory on this, and then I will play it. It's only a few minutes long. Um, so I think it was the years 2009, 2010, I think. And I had the opportunity, Jacob and I both, but I had the opportunity of being out in nature for a while in the summer, those 2 summers. And not in hotels or motels, but basically living out of a van. And back then the technology was less than it is now. So out in the bush, so to speak, out away from the small towns, there really wasn't much internet connection. And so it was very quiet. And it was good training for me on a lot of levels. But what I noticed is that once I got away from all of this and people, that I started hearing in my internal hearing much, much more. And then, and this has happened at various times, but at this point, it was this body of work that started coming through. So these poems, these rhyming poems, I started hearing basically fully formed, and I just had to write them down. And there's a meter to them with the rhymes, right? So I had to get from how I heard it in my head to written and then be able to speak it and record it. Now, at the time, definitely, and I'm grateful for this, I had learned how to record and edit audio. And so I was able to record myself reading them. And the premise of all of these, they were all in a similar vein, which is that there is, in this case, I guess, because it was me at the time, a female person, but it could be anyone, but a seeker, someone who is trying to remember their connections. As Liliana said, we're all connected. And so this is someone who is at the point of maybe hearing, maybe knowing the connections, and yet still doubting, trying to find their way. And that is still where I was, much more so in those years than now. And then that this character would hear their teachers in their heads, guiding them and talking to them. And so it's this dialogue back and forth. And so there's probably 8 of them total. And so then someone put an image with them, so that made it into a video file. And so this is the premiere, and they've never really gotten much play. Like, I've never really put them out much, partially because I don't know why. I just didn't. Anyway, but now 10 years later, they're ready to be put out. And so I will put them on my YouTube channel one by one. But I think what I'm going to do for the next number of weeks here at the gathering is I'm going to play one each week and then upload it. So anyone who's here, anyone who's watching, you'll hear it for the first time before I put it out publicly. So this one is called Self-Care. And I picked this one because I figured we're all in the zone of needing to amp up our self-care. And I'm not saying that whatever's in the audio will be things you don't know, but I just listened to it again a couple hours ago and I thought, oh, it's still pertinent. So I'm going to play that now. And there's really nothing to look at. It is a listen to kind of thing. So here we go.
Hello? Hello? Are you there? I have a favor to ask of you. I'm trying my best, I really am, but I'm feeling rather blue. I call upon my helpers, who seem to be with me, in teaching dreams of night and day, and in synchronicity. But today I'm feeling lonely, alone in this mundane land. So I practice this new friendship and call out for a hand. Do you know what I am asking? Because I don't really know. I trust you all have wisdom, enough to me to show. We understand your question, dear, even before you think to ask, because we know the purpose of your important task. Self-reflection and healing. This is what you seek. You want to feel at peace more than thrice a week. Yes, yes, I exclaim, that is exactly what I want. I hope for a satisfied soul, but it's feeling rather gaunt. You must remember, young one, there's always first things first. In the art of feeding your spirit, the privilege of quenching its thirst. Before you ask us how, we will ask you to look inside, sit or walk in silence, and the answers can no longer hide. Your inner wisdom knows what you need, so ask with a patient heart to be guided in this physical world to where you need to start. One last thing before we go, one more important clue. Any answers you think we have also reside in you.
So a little poem. Oh, yeah, a little poem to share.
So beautiful.
Yeah, there's a number of them. There's a few. So I look forward to sharing them. Sometimes art takes a while. I think that's one message too. That there's for a lot of us there's things that maybe we've started in the past or we got to a certain point and then it went to the back burner, but you know there's could be a perfect time for things to be finished or put out later, right? So because it's all a work in progress. And um, so does anyone else have anything that here in the Zoom that anyone would like to share? If so, just unmute yourself.
Hi, I just
Hi.
wanted to thank everybody for sharing. I really, really appreciate the deep listening that I feel from, well, I actually kind of have to have it modeled. And I see it in you, Quinn. I see it in lots of people lately, but that really was a big thing for me to slow down, listen. And then also, I really appreciate Elizabeth's sharing because inside, I wasn't trying to make it about me. I was really deeply listening to you, and I felt that's one of the things that I honored in your talk. Um, and then things did come up though, and I was thinking, well, I'll share it when it's appropriate because I really felt that you did say things that were so real that it's not just a story; it's real. And I want you to know how special your story was to me because when I came to sit down here, I brought this. I actually really did bring this little, and I'm not sure how to say that. Tohono,
Tohana
is that how you
Atum.
say it? Yeah, I'm not always sure how to say Tohono Autumn. I was just there before I came to Canada and I bought this. And I actually told the guy, this is going to be my little dream box. And so when you brought out your box, I'm like, this is what I brought to the session today. I really wanted something today to be captured in the dream box for all of us. And it just seemed so appropriate to be able to bring that today that you shared that. I was just so happy that you were able to put those dreams in there for those children. Um, it does break my heart. And then I also needed to not run. I waited because I thought there's other voices coming through me too. I was a teacher in Tucson, and I got abruptly let go in December. Not going into the details why, it really is to me still a bit of a shock. But I will say I had a class, and today I went and brought out what one of the students wrote to me later because they don't know what happened to me, and they told me I couldn't say anything right away because of paychecks. And the world is cruel, it really is. And I didn't know that I was going to be leaving this class, and I just wanted you to share the insight. I can't show the picture, can I, of the students on this?
Mm-mm. No, don't.
This is live, right? So inside is the picture, and they are the family is, I I don't say the word anymore because I've worked with so many students of all different colors and races, and so they're Black children. And I would never have said that. I would have said I would said her name, her beautiful name, and her two brothers, and the mother and father got married. And so inside is the picture of them, and that's the one thing they wanted to share with me, wanted to connect. So this is something I brought with me, and it's like I wish I could wear it on my heart. So I wanted you to see, like, I just really feel like that's what children are calling out to us. They're just pure love, so I want to put that out there today as well, knowing that they have that future to not navigate, but to own. I want them to own their futures. Their hearts are so beautiful. So there's their hearts are in this talk today, and I'm going to also capture that into the dream box, and it was empty. And so if you would help me bless it today to fill that up, and I will be also capturing that what you spoke today in there. I just was really grateful that you shared that. I also want you to just see that when you just shared your story,
Oh
this
yes, I
wanted
like
to come
this.
too. And my friend here in Kelowna, when I came in the wintertime, she just like chopped the piece off right in front of me with a hammer and said, Rose, you got to have this, and I was like, okay. And this really was so special because it came from her great auntie. And, it was a kind of, woman, and she has two biracial children. They're my son's best friends, but we never think of it that way until this all started coming up, that now they're really, it's just like how special these people are. But I don't know why before we would have thought anything other than now realizing their reality, and I just know them as my son's best friends, so anyways, she chopped this off, and I mean, I just couldn't believe when you showed that. I was like, we are connected in so many ways that we don't even know. And I feel like you're talking about all these voices. I just feel like so many of them are coming to me now, and they're not me. Rose is just sitting here and she's trying to be grateful and thankful, but showing up and having all that come through me, it is your voices are mine and mine are yours. And I just really feel hopefully guided to do and say and become the person that all these children want me to be. And hopefully I can just listen and learn and be that person. So thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, and I think that that's a very powerful way to close today is may we adults be the people that the children need us to be. Yeah, that's what's necessary now. So, thank you for showing up. And if you're listening or watching later, thanks for getting this far into the video. And we do these gatherings on Saturdays, 1 o'clock. So this time of year, Mountain Standard Time is the same as Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so until the autumn, you may see Pacific Standard Time or Mountain Standard Time, and so it's 1 o'clock, both of those time zones, and 4 o'clock Eastern Time Zone. And so it's a little different each time, but also similar as far as the different segments to share. And so I guess I'll say thank you to the ancestors of the lands where all of us are, and also all of the other than human relatives, family members, all of the who's who are often called whats by colonizing culture, by dominant culture, um, trees and even animals and water and air and plants and flowers and stones. Commonly, they're an it, they're whats. So maybe as we close our time together, us humans, we could say thank you so much for taking pity on us, and they're watching us go through this very human experience called COVID-19. And wait, what was that, Elizabeth? Put that up again. Who was that? Is that a plant?
Yes.
Oh,
Creosote.
creosote. Yes.
Rain. Come on,
Yes, come
rain.
on, rain. It's like here in the desert, it's freaking hot, but that's the only way monsoons will come, and they're feeling a little tardy. We're wanting them real bad. So, yes, real bad. Everyone needs them, all of us. So may we, as Liliana said, may we notice who is around us all the time, especially now when we get to go outside, when we get to go out, even if it's right outside of our apartment doorstep, right? There's someone there. There's air, there's rain, there's clouds, there's a tree, there's a weed in the concrete, there's someone. And if we say, "Hi, I'm so glad to see you," then maybe it might change our awareness in that moment so that then we can see and notice other elements of the web of life that really want our attention, and not just the physical world, but the non-physical world, the dream, the dreaming mind. Oh, I see a kitty. That's Bella. That's who you were hearing. Hey, put her up one more time. I got there a little late. She was the one who was mewing during, she was putting it. And you know what's interesting, Elizabeth, because she was rocking the chair behind you, so you could kind of see the chair rocking without seeing who was in it. So, uh,
Yeah. There was one part when I was talking, and it was so fitting because she started like throwing up a hairball.
let's
It
let's
fit
be able to
right in with what I was
perfect.
saying too.
Yeah, may we all be able to purge this
Yeah.
toxic inheritance that we've all inherited, and we don't need to carry it on. This is the last generation. May we close with that prayer, that intention, that this sickness does not go further than this generation, that we stop it, we change it. All right, take care of yourself and those who you love, and please be careful. Please be careful, and let's all here for a second scoop up bits of all of the wisdom and the heartfelt shares that we've experienced today. And maybe there's an awareness that you have come to, an aha moment that maybe has something directly to do with what came through us today, and maybe not. Maybe being in this environment of even pondering such connections, maybe that means that then we gained something, meaning learned something about ourselves, and may we put it in the containers so that we can keep it safe, and our prayer boxes, and all of the children, the black boys who and brown boys who are afraid for very good reasons every day. May you be protected. Thank you all. Oh yeah, there's the prayer circle of children. Loving gifts from children. All right, until next time.